Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all of the Virgos. If you are a Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of May of 2025. And in case any of you are interested, I will be using my Every Little Thing You Do is Magic tarot deck. I know that's right. So, with all of that said, let's see what Virgo has in store for May. Okay, Virgo, it feels like you guys are being tested. And I'm sorry to say it because, again, I feel like so many months so far has been pause. I'm getting a call. Sorry about that. Talk about timing. I have been waiting for a phone call back from these people that are supposed to fix my garage door for 2 hours. They said they'd call me back in a couple minutes, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get on with my day. And of course, as soon as I start, as soon as I start, and maybe that's part of what's testing you, Virgo. Maybe that's like it's a similar thing where it's like finally you put yourself first. You decide you're not going to wait around. You're not going to put your energy into like you're not going to follow other people's schedules, and then as soon as you make that decision for yourself, the thing you'd been waiting on is like, oh hey, I'm here. And maybe that's the theme. It's finally deciding for yourself. But with all of that said, let's get to the cards. So the first two cards fell out together on like the second shuffle. They fell out almost immediately. We have the Emperor and the Four of Pentacles reversed. The next card to fall out a little later is the King of Swords. Then we had Strength reverse. And then we had one on the bottom of the deck, but also like this pile fell out all in one. So it's like the bottom of both decks. So I only went with the top. We have the Page of Wands, and then the bottom of the big deck is the Seven of Wands upright. So it feels like there are a lot of challenges that you are facing right now, and a lot of them have to do with your external. But at the same time, especially with the Emperor and the Four of Pentacles reversed both coming out together almost immediately, it feels like you have lost control, or you're not in control of a certain situation, or maybe just a lot of situations in your life right now. But that control is coming from an act of surrender. With the Four of Pentacles reversed, it's almost like it's an energy of finally letting go and not holding so tightly onto security or money or finances or what you think you have in your life that offers you that security. It's finally letting go of that and it's surrender. It's surrender. And there's a part of you that is terrified of this. There's a part of you that does not compute kind of thing. You're like, I don't because Virgos, you love control. You love being in control. You like having control. You like having security. You like knowing. You like knowing where you're going, what's going on, and you like to be the one that dictates it. To release control and surrender. And that came up in your last reading too, where I think finally and nose itching on both sides, confirmation there. That came up in the last reading too, if I remember correctly, where, oh my God, it's so itchy. Where you finally were just like, fuck it. You know what? Show me what you want to do, because obviously what I'm doing isn't working. I think this is a continuation of that. And it's through that act of surrender. And so you started with the surrender, and then now you're seeing that you really don't have control over what's going on, but that doesn't mean things aren't falling into place. And you are really being tested with this with Strength reverse. You're really being tested with this to trust that even if externally things look and feel chaotic and you don't know what even the next hour will bring, let alone tomorrow or next week, like you threw your 5-year plan out the door when this all started happening, because obviously what you were doing was not working. But it's like with the King of Swords and the Page of Wands together, interesting. And under the Page of Wands is the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, and the Two of Pentacles. Holy moly. And the Ten of Wands. Sometimes it really is that clear. Sometimes it really is that clear. It's almost like your ego. How do I explain this? It's not that your ego is getting in the way and is going to like make everything go even more chaotic for you, but your ego is the part of yourself that's telling you things aren't working out and things are really hectic, and the fact that you don't have control is a bad thing, and like why would you surrender? You don't even know what you're going to eat for breakfast tomorrow now. Like it could look like a lot of chaos, and that's emphasized again by the Seven of Wands. It could look like a lot of chaos, a lot of external quarreling, a lot of external challenges coming through. But the King of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands, you releasing, and then under the Ten of Wands is Judgment. And then it's the Fool. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. So you releasing your sense of control and your desire to control everything, you finally giving into that Four of Pentacles energy to just be like, you know what, fine, I let go. Every last morsel of whatever you were trying to dictate in your own life, you recognize that, like, again, what you were trying to do was not working, and maybe it wasn't working because it was from the ego. Like, you almost had something to prove, whether to yourself or to your loved ones or to people who you don't even talk to, like, or like the world. You were trying to prove something with this path you were on, and ultimately you were so far off kilter, you were so far off of where you actually are meant to go in this lifetime, that the universe kind of stepped in, pulled the rug out from under you, and was like, okay, have fun, like watched you fall. But as you're falling, and I think you are in the free fall right now, and your mind wants to focus on this strength reverse, this Four of Pentacles reverse, this Emperor reverse, that you have no control, you have no options. Like, all you can do is suspend yourself in midair and continue to fall. And you could let fear play a role in that. You could say, oh my God, once I hit the bottom, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Oh my God, my back's going to break. I'm going to be paralyzed. Like, you could let fear carry you down this road, but ultimately you don't know what waits for you at the bottom. You do not know what waits for you at the bottom. So why would you fear what you know, A, is inevitable, and B, what you don't know? Why would you fear it if you don't know what waits for you? Because the universe has a funny way. After they rip that rug out from under you, it's like you're scrambling. It's waiting for you to recognize there is nothing to fear in this suspension. And then once you make that decision that there's nothing to fear, it's your dream life at the bottom. Not only will you be like your free fall will slow down and you'll float down, like I'm picturing like a feather just floating down on the breeze all the way down, down, down. So it's like you were dropping like a stone, and then you turn into this feather. And then you gently find your way to the bottom and you stand up, and it's the most beautiful garden you've ever seen. It's the most beautiful life you've ever seen. The greatest opportunities, the most soul-fulfilling connections. So while you are in this free fall, that's what your focus is right now, is to let go of the fear, let go of expectations. Go of expectations, let go of expectations. We take them from you. I'm taking your expectations, because whatever you can expect, whether on the side of fear or on the side of like a positive expectation, what is going to meet you at the bottom is going to be better than anything you could ever dream of. It's going to be better. But if you have these expectations put into place, you're going to be disappointed no matter what. And now there's somebody at my door. Who the fuck is here? Fuck is here? Hold on. And Virgo, it's crazy that we've already had two interruptions here. I'm telling you. And it's almost like, oh, and the change in the lighting right now. It's almost like the universe is going to be knocking at your door. And all of these expectations and all of this, like the sense of fear that you might be carrying, it's time to release that. That's the 10 of Wands. You've been carrying all of these expectations of others, which causes you to then project your own expectations outwardly, which then causes you to get disappointed every time and 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 again, all of these times in a row. And so you have this 10 of Wands energy that you have been carrying too much for too long. And you releasing it, you letting go of it, is the start of your actual journey, is the start of the rest of your life. It's the start of it. And that's where judgment comes in too, because I think the 10 of Wands was under judgment, or I think it was this way, 10 of Wands under judgment. That's where judgment is too, is like just behind your ability to have this higher perspective, this godly, worldly perspective of, because judgment kind of can represent the rapture and God coming down unto earth to do whatever the heck he wants to do. I don't know. It could represent that in a way that it's like, let God, or let the most high, the creator, like the universe, whatever your belief system is, let them carry you. Let them take the weight of this 10 of Wands energy off of your back, because you deserve to have that break. Not only do you deserve to have that break, you deserve to live a life that is worthy of you. I'm going to say that again. You deserve to live a life that is worthy of you. And I think you need to hear that. Your attention to detail, your tenacity, your overwhelming love. Even if the love is sometimes judgment in and of itself, you only want what's best for yourself. You only want what's best for your loved ones. And oftentimes that can get clouded in a very negative fashion, Virgo. And it's not deserved, this gray cloud that's often put over you is like, oh, they're buzzkill. No, they're not. They can see the paths for everybody that is best for them. And yeah, it might be unsolicited advice sometimes. So, just be mindful of that. But ultimately, their ability to see this path for you, your ability to see this path for them. I'm like, it's weird. I'm taking it from like first to third person. Your ability to see this path for them always comes from a place of love, of good intention, of just wanting everybody to level up. But now it's time you want that for yourself. I think for too long you took on the projections of others of this like more negative like outlook of you and your impact on the world. You took that in, and so maybe that's where your ego got in the way and said you have something to prove, where you now thought you had to do everything for yourself. But again, we've seen these last 5 months now, I think, that when you try to do everything for yourself, you just get yourself stuck in the same cycle of putting too much effort forth, not having it reciprocated, being miserable where you are in your job, in your relationship, in everything, in where you're living, in life in general. And it's time to disrupt that cycle. And it starts with that surrender. It starts with not fearing the free fall. It starts with becoming really comfortable with the dark and recognizing that the only thing that there is to fear in the dark is yourself. And then once you realize it's yourself, you realize there really is nothing to fear at all. There's nothing to fear at all. And even with all of this, with the King of Swords coming out with the first four cards, you have this ability to be very objective and very logical and very like aware. You're aware of the necessity of letting go. You're approaching it with a viewpoint of, okay, it's like, or there's a part of you that believes it's illogical to just trust the free fall and that you won't splatter into a billion pieces when you hit the ground. There's a part of you that feels that that is illogical or thinks it's illogical just to trust and to let go and surrender and to not be afraid. But with this King of Swords energy, it's almost like, why wouldn't I try? Why wouldn't I try it? I've tried everything else up until this point. Why wouldn't I try it? It's a very sure energy. And it's a very, King of Swords can also be isolating. So it's possible right now you are the Hermit hasn't come out, but you could be doing a lot of this alone. You could be going through a lot of what you're going through on your own right now. And that makes it a little bit more scary because Virgos, you're the mother. You're used to having your village around you, but this is a lesson that you need to learn for yourself. And again, once that fear dissipates, once you make the decision to remove the obstacle of fear. Once you make that decision, that's when we have the message from the Page of Wands come in. And Wands is all about passions and creativity and experience and following and trusting your intuition, even if logically it doesn't make sense where your intuition is guiding you. That's when you open yourself. Oh, I have chills. It's when you open yourself up for the page to bring its message to you. Not only that, we have the Knight of Swords, very fast paced, fast moving energy. So once you make that decision not to fear and you start to go within and be more isolated, but in a way that's in a way that's healing, in a way that helps you see yourself, helps you recognize the miraculous nature of your life up until this point, especially since everything started to hit the fan all of those months ago when we started these readings. You start to realize, even through the chaos, how protected you've been and how tenacious it has taught you that you are. How determined to persevere despite the chaos, despite the external circumstances, despite the challenges that you're facing, because there have been many, they've been plentiful. But it's almost like these challenges are arriving so you stop worrying. And it's like a catch 22 kind of thing. The more you worry and fear about more challenges coming up, the more challenges are going to greet you. But the second you decide to say, you know what, I'm not worried. Whatever comes up, I'll fucking deal with it. I'll deal with it like I have been dealing with the whole time. All of a sudden, you put a wrench in the wheel. You put a wrench in the wheel, and then you're waiting for the next challenge because you're like, I'm ready for it. Bring it on. But because you're not fearing it and you're not trying to control your external circumstances in order to avoid it, it doesn't come. Because you've drastically shifted your mindset. Even if it doesn't feel like you've made a drastic shift, You have drastically shifted your mindset and therefore drastically shifted the trajectory of your path and your ability to allow your angels and your ancestors and, creator God, most high, whatever you want to call that outer belief. You've given them the space to now work their magic to help clear the path ahead for you. It's just you have been relying on yourself for too long. There was no space for them to even just like drop a little pebble in front of you that you might have tripped over. And as you tripped, you see something that fell, and then that has the message of something you need to look up that then brings you to your next passion. Like the serendipity of life exists when we release control, when we release the desire to control. Because then, if we're not trying to control every little aspect of what's going on, we are present, and the present moment is where the magic occurs. It's where we find alignment, Virgo. And you can only be in the present moment when you relinquish control. And I'm emphasizing that. I think you're already well on the way, but I'm emphasizing it because there will be moments where it's like there's doubt that creeps in, even when, especially when things start going good for you and the challenges cease. That's when you're going to start to question and be like, wait, I don't really trust this. Like, and then you start fearing and subconsciously fearing, waiting for the next bad thing to occur. Just be mindful. Just be mindful. But with all of that, you make the space, you gain the messages, you're in the present, you're fast paced, you're moving now, you have the tenacity, you have the spirit, you have the gusto, and now we have the Eight of Pentacles. So you have the space and you're recognizing the benefits of surrender. There was like a burp in there. So this is almost like, okay, yeah, the Eight of Pentacles is going to be a more internal work, but you're going to start to chip away at the bits that really crave that need for control. So the decision to let go of control and surrender is step one, but there are still parts of you inside that need to be healed, which is what caused the desire to control in the first place. And I think that's where the Eight of Pentacles comes in. It's like chipping away and working hard towards your own inner healing, but in a way that's going to open you up and open a path for either career advancement or security of some sort, or like the next step of your evolution in terms of how you obtain financial abundance, security, all of that. That's going to open up to you by doing this inner work. And again, I felt it a lot in my heart. So it could be like congestion, like upper chest congestion, that like you might feel it in your body. And if you do start to feel it as you make the decision now to go inward, if you feel it in here, especially, you're doing good work. So don't stray away from it if you start to feel a lot in there. Um, it does feel like a heartache though. So it's something from your past, whether from childhood or early adulthood or something. It could even be recent. It doesn't have to be like something that's been lingering for a long time. It could be recent. Some sort of heartache needs to be healed. Maybe it's something somebody did to you where you put all of your trust and faith into them to be that rock, that stable aspect of your life. And then all of a sudden they were like, haha, just kidding. I'm gonna blow up and ruin everything for both of us. And so the trust you put in that person, like there was a deep sense of betrayal. And that's why you felt you then had to shift to the other side and become that person that has to control and has to dictate everything because you had put your trust in somebody else in the past and they absolutely shitted on them. Like, I don't know why that wanted to be said that way, but they absolutely just fucked you over. And that caused, there's like multi layers of this heartache that you're feeling because of it. That needs to be healed. And once that heals, you will open yourself up to this whole new path, this whole new beginning. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. We have one more card after that. So once you start to heal that and start chipping away at that, you'll find ways that you can work hard towards, whatever's next. And you're also integrating this sense of healing. You're making it a part of your everyday life. So it's not something that like you do once and it's gone. You're going to start to figure out ways to integrate this healing in your day-to-day life. So it's not something that bubbles up and like continues to fester until one day you just can't take it anymore and it explodes. But rather when you feel like a little nudge, just a little hint, that didn't feel good. Where can I locate it in my body so I can feel it and release it now rather than holding on to it for the next 20 years and having to deal with it then? And oftentimes bigger like health issues in that sense. How can you do that? That's the Two of Pentacles. It's making the decision to do the thing and integrating that thing. So it's a routine. So it's a habit. Maybe it's just doing a morning routine where you journal for 10 minutes and just whatever comes to mind, like no thoughts, no anything, just bleh, like throwing up on the page, anything, writing about your dreams, like whatever it may be, meditating, starting your days off right in with healing your ailments as the focus. Because the more you can do that and the more you can integrate it into your day-to-day life, the better, the more benefits you're going to have. And not only that, you'll be opening yourself up to new opportunities to help you gain additional foundation, security, finances, etc. But you're also setting off on a new beginning. And I know you're probably like, I'm pretty sure you've said this last 3 months, which I might have. I really don't remember. But perhaps this is the culmination of all of the work that you have done. Perhaps this is the culmination of it. It's like it feels like you're in the final stretch. Like this is the final shed. This is the final shed to finally let go of the things you've been carrying. The things we carried. Isn't that a book? Maybe that'll mean something to some of you. Things they carried? I think it's the things they carried. Let go of what you've been carrying, whether it belonged to you or not. Just let go of it, release it. Let go and let God are these two cards, quite literally. Let go and let God. And the Ten of Wands, all the tens are an end of a cycle. It's an end of a cycle. So I like that we have the 10 and we have the new beginning, the 10 and the 0. Because it's a cycle that's it's been past time that it ends. I'm not entirely sure how long we've been recording. I think we're about at like, with all three videos together, like 22 minutes. I'm going to shuffle one more time, just see if there's anything else that wants to come out really quick. Fascinating. These all came out reversed. Three of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Four of Wands. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups reversed as well. And the High Priestess reverse. And the Nine of Cups reversed. These are all very like positive cards. And it's fascinating that they're all reversed. And then the Hanged one was under the High Priestess and the King of Cups. Okay. Yep, this seems clear. And the Ace of Swords, Virgo. That's what's fascinating about all of these cards coming out one after another. Same thing with earlier. It's like all of it's a journey. It's a journey, it's a journey, it's a journey. So as you finally set out on this new beginning, there's going to be a moment where your expectations are like, oh, this is brand new, so everything should fall into place really easily. And then you start to daydream about like, oh, okay, so if this means new beginning for everything, I'm going to have this career. And like, you're going to get your expectations like high again. You're going to expect celebration. You're going to expect unity, maybe expect divine love, expect creative collaboration in your workplace, expect like immediate fulfillment. It's like all these expectations coming back, but your expectations are going to be what brings disappointment. So it's like just a continuous learning lesson of not expecting anything and like truly surrendering is believing that anything you can dream up, anything you can dream of even expecting is not going to come close to what is actually manifested in your reality. There's a blue jay right outside as I say this. It's not going to come even close to what's actually going to be manifesting in reality. But the second you start to expect certain things, you block the ability for those dream ideals to come to fruition. With the High Priestess reverse too, it's like you expecting it a certain way is going to block you from getting it either way. From getting it either way. I think you're going to recognize this. Maybe it'll happen once with something new after this new beginning, and then it's going to send you in a period of reflection. So you can tap into this divine sense of really like deep emotional understanding of why these expectations are set into place. It's going to tap you back into that healing that we worked on with the Eight of Pentacles. Which again, Eight of Pentacles isn't usually about emotions, but it feels like inner work. It's about working hard, chipping away at the bits until you master something eventually. But with this spread, that Eight of Pentacles is working at your own healing. And then the Two of Pentacles, integrating your own healing as well. And that integration is going to help build that foundation that you're looking for. So with these expectations, after you start this new beginning, you're going to be disappointed once, and then it's going to send you into a period of reflection, of deep reflection, to be like, okay, what went wrong? Why do I feel like I'm back at square one? You're not back at square one. But why do I feel like I'm back at square one? How can I rectify the situation? Oh, I can reflect. And in that reflection, deep emotional understanding. This is where the healing really, really activates. It's almost like this Eight of Pentacles, like working towards healing. is the start of it, and then this disappointment is, or this expectation is going to cause disappointment, which will send you into this period of reflection. And the Hanged One is also about a cycle ending. 12s in numerology, in Caladian numerology specifically, is completion of a cycle. So the Hanged One is, up until this point, he's gone through the first 11 cards of the major arcana, and now he's in this deep reflection period before he moves on to the second half of the major arcana. It's a very powerful card. Very powerful card. And the Hanged One with the King of Cups tells me that so while you set it all in this new beginning, there are still lingering things that need to be healed, expressed, felt, acknowledged from where you were previously. And once you give yourself the space to actually do that and find this emotional understanding, we have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Brand new beginning in terms of how you can think and express and move and logically see yourself in the world, and set out on a new beginning that offers, yes, challenges, but challenges in the face of, like, in a fulfilling way. So it's not like you're being bombarded by challenges, but especially Virgos, you're Mercurial. You love a good challenge. You love a good challenge when it's not testing you. And that's what this new beginning will offer you as well. This was a big reading. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 cards. And 21 is the world. Completion. There are no coincidences. But Virgo, with all of that said, this was a general reading, so it's possible not everything resonated. If that's the case, you could book with me for a personal reading so we can get in depth in your own, life, what's going on with you. To do that, you can check out the website linked in the description below, and there you can book for tarot, astrology, human design, or numerology readings. If you did like this reading, leave me a like and leave me a comment and let me know how it resonated. And of course, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you're interested in getting your forecast for the month ahead, according to the tarot cards, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Virgo, I would love to have you guys here in the future. I feel very whole right now. Like, this energy is just like coming home after a long journey and sitting on your couch with a cup of tea, fireplace crackling, cats in the lap, and you feel whole. And that's what I want for you. Release expectations, surrender, trust that there's nothing to fear. And anything you can imagine will happen doesn't even come close to what your angels and your guides can actually doctor up for you. I love you guys.